What's up, YouTube? The Star Wolf. Look, some of you may know, some of you may not know. It may come as a shock, but the bill for the stimulus checks was shut down. It was knocked down by the Democrats. They voted no simply because it wasn't helping the people. The only people it would help is these big CEOs of these huge corporations. Now, Nancy Pelosi, they called it a slush fund, and mainly because of that, they because of what I just had mentioned. These large corporations were set to receive large amounts of money, while the people that actually needed it would only receive between like $300 and $1,100. And it's families out here that actually was anticipating this money. They were dependent on this money. They was dependent on these checks because people been out of work, and as long as you're out of work, you're not able to generate any type of money. So people are depleting funds by going to these grocery stores and paying bills. You still have to pay bills and you still have to do everything. So it's like it's like they're not waiving anything too much. They're not giving up anything. So it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. What do these families do now? Where do they go? Where do they go from here now? Since the majority of the American people was dependent on this bill to be passed. Where do they go from here? Because this is, at first, everything was all jokes. Everything was funny. People making these funny memes about the coronavirus and everything. Now, a lot of that is starting to slow down because people are realizing that this is real, and everybody's uncertain right now. Everybody's uncertain because nobody is sure how long this will last. And the longer it lasts, the bigger the effects will be. People, like I said, people are running out of money. When you run out of money, that's when the crime is going to start. People are going to start losing their minds and just start doing anything because you have to eat. You have to support your family still. And they're making it to where it's damn near, I won't say it will be impossible, but it'll be close to that. So, and let me read something for y'all. Let me read something for y'all. They said the bill has a weak stock buyback language that can be waived by the Treasury Secretary. The executive compensation limits only last for 2 years. Language on worker retention is weak and includes easy outs for companies. There are no assurances in the language that workers will benefit. See, and that's one of the reasons that it was shot down, because the people, which is the American citizens, won't benefit after this. The companies will, these large corporations, but the workers won't. You definitely will have to pay this back. This is not free. Interest rates will be raised. Taxes will be raised. They'll pull this money. They'll get that money back in some type of form or fashion, when in actuality, these big companies don't have to pay anything. Disney wanted multiple millions of dollars to be bailed out. But here it is. Disney doesn't even pay taxes. Not only do Disney not pay taxes, but Disney is worth billions of dollars. Big corporations like Disney, you're not losing money because you're shut down, because nobody is attending this theme park. You're not losing money, because if everything was to return back to normal right now, today, there would be millions of people who would actually flock to Disney, and they'll pick up. Everything will be right back to normal. They're not losing money. The only people that's losing money is the have-nots, the American citizens, the working people, the people that must go to work every day, work a 9 to 5, slaving. Those are the people that needed this check. Those are the people that would be affected greatly. You see, I never even felt like they would even give checks anyway. And if they and if they just happen to do it, then it would benefit them. Okay, meaning the large corporations. Now let me read something else. Okay, other major problems: no money for state and local governments, no additional SNAP funds, meaning they was cutting off the food stamps anyway. No OSHA language to protect workers. Now, when they talk about language, they're talking about when you write up certain laws, when you write up any type of laws and provisions, the language in it, the legalities, the language is not correct, you know. So no expanded emergency leave provisions. Only 3 months on UI, insufficient length given scope of crisis. Direct payments are not available to the millions of people who did not file a return in 2018 or 2019. In theory, they could file a return, but millions won't. Meaning, okay, if you didn't file, then you wouldn't be receiving a check. So there's many what you say discrepancies within this bill that they was trying to get passed, that it just wasn't for the people. It wasn't going to help the people at all. Okay, and no funds to help with the treatment of the uninsured. So if you uninsured on any level, no funds. Does not provide adequate relief for the 44 million federal student loan borrowers. So this was knocking down all of the working class people who attend schools, colleges, wasn't affecting these large corporations, like I said. Okay, they didn't have nothing put in place that would help any type of education, any type of small businesses, these mom and pop stores, the small businesses. It may be a t-shirt shop or anything like that. No type of provisions put in place to help those businesses. Just the large corporations, The Republicans refusing to add strong worker protections, They were saying the language says corporations must keep employees to the extent possible, which means they can keep bailout money and still fire workers. So here it is. Your large corporation may receive $500 million and you can still let workers go. Well, our business just not doing too well. We have to lay off 1,100 people, 1,500 people or whatever, and still they receive that 500 million or whatever it may be. Now you don't have a job. You have no money. But these CEOs, these big CEOs of these companies had the money and their families are living lavish, living good, while your family over here worrying and stressing about what you're gonna eat or what you're gonna do from hour to hour, from day to day. You see, they don't care. They never care. They are the biggest fraudsters. They do fraud. They should be locked up. This is illegal, highly illegal. Okay. And then, the Democrats offered loan forgiveness if 90% of employees were retained. But that won't come to fruition. The mutual bailout fund has virtually no restraints. It's all at the discretion of the Treasury Secretary. The Trump administration could give money to Trump properties. So that's basically paying yourself. Republicans are refusing to increase money for hospitals. Damn well we need money for the hospitals. We need this money for the hospitals. We're in a crisis right now. This virus is taking people out, killing people, not to mention, set the virus aside, people. Okay, now you have people that's been sick before this virus. You have surgeries that need to be performed. People's lives are still going to go on, whether this virus is here or not. And you still have to go to the hospital because people had doctor's appointments once a month. or every 2 months or whatever, because they have heart problems, heart conditions, diabetes, people on dialysis, just everything. But here it is, they wasn't giving any money. They was refusing to increase money for the hospitals. And you need that money. We need that money right now for the beds, for the equipment, for everything, to pay the workers in the hospitals, but everything else have increased. The corporate bailout fund has increased to $500 billion. This doesn't include money for airlines. Very weak buyback restrictions that can be waived by the Treasury Secretary. Only a 2-year limit on increasing executive compensation. Only giving loans to airlines, which will result in tens of thousands of layoffs. So they know that this will create havoc because people will be laid off. Multiple thousands of people will be laid off. So this is just some of the things that's going on, and most of the things that's going on, and why this bill wasn't passed, why the Democrats voted no. Now, in my eyes, the Republicans and the Democrats is the same anyway. It's just the name. The name is what divides the two. They all in it together. It's like the NFL or something. You have multiple teams or whatever, but they all in it for the same reason. The end result is the same. Anyway, while everybody is being affected, we need the American citizens, the people need to come up with some type of plan, because like I've been teaching for many years or whatever, they don't care about us on no type of level. As you can see, this is information that's already ready. It's available to everyone. You could go research and look up this information. They don't care. This is what was going on inside this bill that didn't get passed for the stimulus checks. It wasn't to help at all. And everybody wasn't going to receive $1,100. In fact, everybody wasn't going to receive a check anyway. Like I told people, it's going to be some type of stipulations attached to it. And now here it comes to the light. I told you this. There is no such thing as free in America. Everything comes with a price. Believe that. They will always attach some type of stipulation and regulations or rules or provisions to whatever it is, especially when they say they're giving you something, because they're going to want something back because they are greedy. Believe that. So we have to be able to pull together and help one another. We need all the financial analysts and people that's financially literate and educated on high levels to come together and teach. And we need to be listening and learning what we should be able, what we have to do. Because like I said, we don't know what's going to go on. We don't know what's going to happen from day to day, because every day they come out and brief us. They come out on the news and brief us on something new. They change up every day. So all I can say, I can say stay prayed up, but, prayer doesn't, prayer without action is useless. So we need to put some type of action in motion so we could be able to dig ourselves up out of this hole, because every day we digging ourselves. It's not like we digging ourselves in the hole, but we helping them dig the hole. And it's getting deeper every day in front of our eyes. And it's going to affect all of us. You, me, our children. So, let me know how y'all feel about this. Let's talk about this. Let me know your thoughts on this, in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. I'm Star Wolf. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that like button and that notification bell so you can get my videos when they drop. And make sure that you share all my videos on social media platforms. Peace.